Today, 425 Lafayette Street is home to the Public Theater, but in the 19th century, it was one of New York's first public libraries. Its dense and dusty shelves were filled with volumes from around the world, lit after dusk by the strange, otherworldly glow of gaslight, casting shadows onto the high rafters. But the Astor Library was home to much more than just books.
In 1860, the librarian Joseph Green Cogswell was roaming the library, the only man in the room. It was around 11 p.m., and Cogswell was returning some books to a particular shelf when he spotted the figure of a man, a well-dressed gentleman, simply staring up and admiring a stack of books. As Cogswell moved closer, he could just make out the contours of this man's face. This man looked familiar.
Cogswell immediately recognized him as a local doctor named Post, a doctor of some acclaim and popular among his patients. He was also a man who had died 6 weeks before. Cogswell approached Dr. Post and declared, "You seldom, if ever, visited the library while living. Why do you trouble me now when you're dead?"
Dead? At that, the grim spirit turned to the librarian and promptly vanished. The very next evening, Cogswell was again strolling through the dark stacks. He'd convinced himself that the previous evening's encounter had been but only a hallucination. Yet, once again, with only gaslight illuminating the chamber, he once again saw the ghostly doctor staring up into the tower of books.
Cogswell once again approached the spirit. "Again, I ask you, why do you, who never visited the library while living, trouble it now when dead?" And again the ghost, appearing frightened, vanished into the ether. Why was this spirit haunting the same spot night after night? What was he in search of? And with that, Cogswell turned his attention to the row of books that the spirit kept coming back to.
It was a row of books devoted to the study of demonology, witchcraft, magic, and spiritualism. Some of these books were already hundreds of years old in 1860 and had such titles as Kern's Magicon, Glanville on Witches and Apparitions, and Badia's Demonomania. A chill ran down Cogswell's spine. Was the doctor's ghost searching for a book that might help bring him back into the world of the living?
Well, the third evening came, and Cogswell was once again in the stacks at 11 p.m., and once again he saw the ghost. Cogswell shouted at the spirit, "This is the third time I've seen you. Tell me if any of these class of books disturbs you, and if they do, I'll have them removed immediately."
And with this threat, or perhaps offer, of getting rid of these books on the occult, at this, the spirit looked Cogswell in the eyes, and then disappeared into thin air, leaving only the wisp of gaslight in its wake. Dr. Post never returned to the library, but to this day, at the Public Theater, if you're paying attention, you may again see this impatient reader reaching for a book which might return him to the land of the living.
The Bowery Boys, episode 419, Ghost Stories by Gaslight.